It's the time to get down.
Yeah, all day.
It's time.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Let's get down on the good news train. Have your morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Get the 311 before the morning's done. Laugh until you cry. You can always rely on morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Morning coffee with Mario.
What's happening, everybody? Getting that stuff out as it is on the networks. That's the way we do it. It wants that information. It wants that information. We're going live. We're starting live on YouTube. I think we got the Facebook. Man, good morning, everybody. This is the way it's working with the two-man team, Victor Allen and I. And, just getting this going.
It's okay,
Sometimes turns out to be a major hurdle. In fact, hold on.
man. Wait.
I forgot my jacket.
You don't have to. There's no holding on. This is a commercial break. What's up, you guys? I hope your Monday's been blessed. I hope all of your dreams come true, at least for the rest of the day. Welcome back, Morning Coffee. We've been off since, I would say, right at the beginning of spring. Last week in March. Had to take time off so you could sit back and troubleshoot stuff, which you're doing. If you find that we're constantly implementing new stuff, I know people going like, just get to the show. Don't tell me all about that engagement stuff. It don't make any difference. So in the meantime, hey, we miss you guys, at least for today. That's at least.
What can I say?
Right.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, and it is good to be back, you all. See, I had to don my full apparel here because, like Vic said, we're pioneering and doing so many things today. And so it's been fun, been a crazy morning. First things first, happy Cinco de Mayo, holiday gone by. I want to say it to all my folks of Mexican descent, happy Cinco de Mayo. Because Cinco de Mayo is a special day, and it's also an excuse to have some fun and get a little high.
Yeah.
Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. May is National Golf Month. Here's a joke to get you in the swing of things. Why did the golfers get kicked out of the library? Their pants were too loud.
I'm leaving that one alone, bro.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. For those who don't know, Mother's Day is coming. I hope that you are prepared, those of you who still have mothers around to celebrate, and mine is still here, and so I'm going to be celebrating. But you got to remember, Mother's Day is coming, so we're programming Alexa. Alexa, remind me to call Mom on Mother's Day.
What time Sunday should I remind you?
About 9 o'clock, 9 a.m.
Okay, I'll remind you Sunday at 9 a.m.
Hey, Alexa. Alexa, give me an idea for Mother's Day.
Give Mom the gift of self-care and treat her to an appointment for a massage or a mani-pedi.
Oh, okay. Give it up for Alexa, y'all. Alexa. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has helped me out. I tell you, it's working. Oh, by the way, celebrate my Howard mug. Got my Howard mug. Unfortunately, there's no coffee in this Howard mug today. But it's a Grand Hemsley tradition to have the big-ass mug. It's like when you graduate stuff. My father did this. When you graduate, you get to buy the big-ass mug and a sweatshirt. And so when I graduated Howard, in order to follow in the family tradition, I also got the big-ass mug. The big-ass mug. And, the funny thing about the big-ass mug, don't walk in and find other people drinking out your big-ass mug. You be like, that's my big-ass mug.
Yeah, that's right.
It's one of those, So anyway, I decided that the big-ass Howard University mug has to at least sit in on the show. So we're sitting in. Big ass mug. All right, you guys. You know, I don't know about you, but the holiday season, which is now, sort of past, we always do special reminders of people that, being single is sometimes difficult for the holiday season. But this is the time of year with those of us who are single through the holidays, we really get to sit back and enjoy life. Why? Because all those other folks are in debt. Their credit cards are charged all up. They're all stressing out from the past Christmas and Easter and Valentine's Day, all that shit. Their credit cards are all charged up. And those of us who are single, at least we didn't accumulate debt. A few of us might actually have saved a few things. Where's my... Thank you. So I just want to remind people that I, too, being a single person, and enjoying this moment of increased finance due to my singleness. Now, if you could only get past your birthday... Your own birthday, because then you got to buy them shit and take them place. No, I'm just kidding. See, sounding jaded. Try not to sound jaded, Vic.
Yeah, well, you are. It's easy to point out the things you do, but there's some women out there going like this, huh? But you don't have no soulmate on your tip, do you?
No, I don't have any. But I have been. Right. I have paid in the years past.
Oh, you see, yeah, that's a cop out.
They got me. Everybody's going, Mark, you sound so bad. Right. Anyway, well, it's not all like that. All right, we do have a few announcements, you guys, because that's the way it is in the Morning Coffee Show. We have the full show today, which includes the news, we got the sports, we got the hot picks. We got a bunch of stuff, you guys. And so I got some announcements coming up in a second, but first, we need to do the weather. Da-da-da-da! People say, why, Mario, why? Why, Mario? They say that. They do. Why, Mario? Why do the weather? We do the weather to make us aware of the situations of our friends and family in other places. That's why. See, we want to know how their day is going. It's an act of kindness, stepping outside ourselves. So first of all, let's do the weather here. Alexa, what's the weather in Compton, California?
Currently, in Compton, California, it's 66 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can expect intermittent clouds, with a high of 74 degrees and a low of 57 degrees.
There you go. All right, now how about this? Up in Port Townsend, Washington, we have Mac McAllister, the G&M Bureau Chief, HNIC. He's up there in Port Townsend. He is the producer of the weekly syndicated Mac McAllister's Retro Jazz and Blues. So we got Mac McAllister. We got to find out how he's doing. Alexa, what's the weather in Port Townsend, Washington?
In Port Townsend, Washington, it's 57 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can look for intermittent clouds, with a high of 65 degrees and a low of 51 degrees.
Well, Mac, look for that shit. Highs and lows, all kind of stuff. And that's not all. We still got to look around the world because we have friends in Pittsburgh. A lot of friends in Philly and family. I got family all in New York and Philly. I have family. My family's there. We wish my cousin Candace Whaley happy birthday. But we got a bunch of folks, family everywhere. So, Alexa, what's the weather in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can look for clouds and showers, with a high of 71 degrees and a low of 53 degrees.
That's not bad for Pittsburgh. 65, Vic. Okay, we got to go down south, though, like to the ATL. So, Alexa, what's the weather today in Atlanta? Alexa, weather, Atlanta?
Currently, in Atlanta, Georgia, it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit with partly sunny skies. Today, you can expect mostly sunny weather, with a high of 83 degrees and a low of 58 degrees.
Give it up for Alexa. We working on it this morning. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. I've been adding this artificial. Yeah, that's enough. I've been adding this artificial intelligence, been adding it because the other intelligence has not been going too well either. So I figured artificial, you know. And but we're behind on things. We're behind on things because some things are scary. I want everyone to know that our blow up co-hosts, of which I actually ordered 2 from China. The first blow up co-host is here. It's a little scary though. It's a little scary. It's a little scary, you guys. It's a little scary. So when they in the bag, they're a little creepy. See, when they come, the blow up co-host, they like in a plastic bag like this. So it looks kind of creepy. You don't know if Jeffrey Dahmer sent you a Christmas package. You know, the little hands and legs. So I posted some pictures online, and I guess I should have pulled it up, but so it be it. But I want everyone to know that the blow-up co-hosts, because amazingly, they do that silicone, just saying. So as soon as Vic and I have some time, Miko was going to help because she thinks it's, you know, hilarious, but she's, you know, she thinks it's a little weird too. So we got to blow up the co-hosts, and I want you to know that's coming. Blowing up the co-hosts. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, Alexa, give me that birthday roundup.
Today's birthday stars include poet Robert Browning, born 1812, actor Gary Cooper, born 1901, quarterback Johnny Unitas, born 1933, disco legend Thelma Houston, born 1946, and 90s pop star Eagle Lightcherry, born 1971. Additionally, today in 1824 was the world premiere of Ludwig van Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in Vienna, Austria.
How did I miss that shit? That's Alexa. Alexa, we working her today. We got a lot. I told you, I'm coming this week, you guys. Tomorrow night, The Quiet Storm, live interactive DJ experience. The theme for the night is The Heat Is On. It's one of those themes where I know you have no idea what kind of music that is. That's would I do that intentionally? Moi? I'm just saying. So the theme tomorrow night is The Heat Is On. We go in search of Nepenthe. Now people say, but I don't understand. Well, Nepenthe is a term that I got from Edgar Allan Poe from the poem The Raven, when he says, quaff, oh quaff, this kind Nepenthe. And then I looked it up, and Nepenthe is a mythical Greek potion that banishes sorrow. And that's what I've been calling weed ever since. You know, you get that from the... See, that's the kind of eclectic shit you get. Only here at PiXX Stereo TV. On Morning Call with Mario. Now you know about Nepenthe. 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 So, The Quiet Storm tomorrow night. The Heat Is On in search of Nepenthe. And I actually have some Nepenthe right here. That's a wonderful shit. Okay. On Friday, the Mario's Magic Mixtape, we got the CD number 4 as we go through the series of the PiXX Stereo, the independent music label. We go through the CD releases. This is CD release number 4. The other stuff, not on a CD, by the Hemsley Foster Project. And we'll be going through that and premiering that on Friday. Also on Friday, Vic, we were supposed to have, unfortunately, we had to cancel for some last minute things came up for Miko. Right. Always she's subject, all of us are subject to opportunities where we have to change. Right. But this coming Friday, we're looking to get Miko back, huh?
Absolutely, man. It's the way of the world. Like you said, multiple projects in not development, in production, and getting paid. So you always have to shift. So, you know, everything's on demand anyway.
Things on demand.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, check this out. You may have noticed, and some of you may be experiencing right now if it's working. Let me see. If it's working right now, some of you may actually be experiencing the Live 365. So I don't see one of them, but well, we'll see whatever. But right now we are simultaneously broadcasting in high def to Facebook and also to YouTube, you guys. And we're doing the live 360 to Facebook and to YouTube also.
Mm-hmm.
Live 360, I believe. Yeah, there it is. So all of that is going on, and so far so good. You guys, we're doing more stuff, and I've been studying. Check this out. This is one of my new announcements. LinkedIn. How many of you guys use LinkedIn or Instagram? Well, Vic and I have been doing our due diligence, and you're going to see expanded roles at Mind Line. Some of you may have seen this morning's, Vic, before this show, 7 posts were automatically done just to announce this show.
Right. Okay.
So I'm on that thing. I'm trying to follow the lead of Victor Allen, everybody. See, Victor Allen, he's leading in the social, he's the social media guru here at PiXX. What's that?
You need people. Remember, you up the audio.
I up the audio for the camera.
For the camera. So, trade off.
Where was I?
Right.
Anyway, I followed Victor Allen's lead in social media. We do have what we call extreme social media.
Yes.
It's extreme. It's
Yeah.
extreme in all ways because it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And even more, when you come into a live event, we ask you to stream the event because part of the concept of stream social media includes the concept that you can watch an event from a variety of viewpoints.
Right.
And that everybody in there with a phone who's broadcasting represents a viewpoint. So even in here at PiXX Stereo TV, right now we're broadcasting. That's why we do it, you guys. I'm hipping this to you. Hipping you to this. So you can be aware of this emerging technology. Say black people don't do this. Well, it goes to show you. But it's that emerging technology. So now we got improved scheduling and I'm hooking up LinkedIn. Just hooking it up, and I hooked up Instagram. I'm using it. I'm meeting a bunch of Instagram people. Y'all kind of freaky deaky. The Instagram folks, y'all just share pictures. You just into sharing.
Right.
I remember that from the 60s, the concept of sharing, love you, the one you're with.
Right.
So I guess Instagram is today's version because they're all into sharing their pictures, their photos, and I must admit, it is something that keeps me up late at night and off of Pornhub. So, all right. Today, too, you guys, I want you to know, today's episode is going to be historic in that this is the first episode in which I'm going to be doing the full workflow to get it up on Amazon Prime. Cross your fingers. Let's see how long it takes Mario to get this episode up on Amazon Prime. A ticking time bomb. Tick, tick. Because we've been working with Amazon, and I've been working on getting a bunch of the videos ready for Amazon. I got 8 of them almost ready. You see, it takes a lot of stuff. We had to do transcriptions, and that's continuing. We're going to have to get this show transcribed as part of the process, because to be on Amazon, you have to have a transcription available. So, all right, enough of that shit. Other than to let you know, you're going to be seeing more and more and more. Okay. Uh-oh. All right, here we go. I want you guys to feel there's a new feature. Okay, I got to get it too. I got to sing the first part. We're now going to do the Can Man 30-second membership update and viewer stats. What do you mean? That doesn't sound all that exciting? You have to be up late at night smoking for it to work, but let's get the concept. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who can take an update? Take a toke or two. Who can quote statistics with a new point of view? You know who can. You know who can. You know who can because he mixes it with love and makes the world feel good.
You're reading from paper.
I don't know it yet. The Can Man. That's the Can Man. 30 seconds. Here we go. Can Man. Can Man in 30 seconds. That's right. Let me tell you the stats. Membership update at PiXXstereo.tv, where you should be watching right now. 53,700 5,379 members at PiXX Stereo Club PiXX Stereo, 2,418 members. And how about those viewership stats? At livestream.com, 11,806,000. And LZ, 3.2. At the, I messed it up. At YouTube, 1.5. At Morning Coffee YouTube, 476,000. At HOtt PiXX at YouTube, 493,000. And even new Sportz coming up hard, Vic, 99,000. Everybody! That's us. Yeah!
This is about the loudest I've heard you since we're in the record label.
You know what my note said?
What?
Add energy.
That's volume.
Volume, not energy.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're gonna come back in a little bit with new news. Vic, I got news today. My news. Where's my news? My news is.
See, watch this.
Where's my news, man? See what's happening. Okay, my news is. Let me see. The new normal continues as the Trump camp circles the wagons and prepares for war. And then I have a commentary on Kanye West. Okay, in terms of marijuana, weed prices are dropping pretty remarkably. And I'm going to take you to Wake and Bake and tell you about the experience Victor and I had at America's Amsterdam-inspired coffee shop. How about you, Vic? What you got?
First of all, I'm going to give love where love is deserved. What's up, Sophia? How you doing, Sophia Janelle? I can't wait for you to get here too. Yes, trying to keep up.
Sophia.
Well, see, since you're not like
talented too.
So now he's See, he don't want to talk to the chat people because he's got paper and product in hand. Right.
Something's in hand.
Yeah, right. So
I got both hands in my pockets. I'm not counting change.
Right. So hey, look. The reason why I'm getting on him, guys, because he has hair and I don't. But check it out. This is what I'm about to do. For those of you who use a reference to information, I'm gonna go HOT PiXX first. Wikipedia's most controversial people, and there's a catch to it, and we're going to find out. Somebody should be on the list, and surprisingly, who is on that list? Sports. What do you guys expect me to talk about? The NBA, right? Okay, the NBA. I'm not going to even talk about the sweepstakes. That's what it's called, because it's going to be the sweepstakes. In the meantime, we're going to talk about the matchup everybody's waiting for in the East and in the West. Also, anybody following Vegas sports? If you're not, I'll remind you.
I'm betting.
All right. Got to do this. Also, how can Boston Celtics? I know everybody's going to talk about the Lakers. Can't. They're not playing right now. Tatum, Brown, Rozier. How can that three, or even plus four with Horford, get further than the big three in OKC? Ouch. Where is it going from here? We're going to talk about
Horford, that. Though. I've been a loud fan of Horford. This is a strange year for me in terms of who I'm rooting for. Teams I never rooted for in the past, like Utah. I'm rooting for Utah.
No. No. This is more about how can you add a George and an Anthony to a team and you get exited out the same way you did last year without them. What does that say?
It says there's no easy fixes.
No, it's not.
Hello to Mac McAllister in the chat room. Phil Cuthbert, PMC, what's happening? Ray Ibarra, what's happening, Ray? We got to say hello to all of our associates out there. They're doing it. Thank you again to all the Facebook folks who are watching in and being part of the experience, the people who like, who have been commenting. Mario Picasso, thank you, Mario. I actually am behind Vic. I'm reaching out to Mario. That's on me. Mario, we hope you're doing fine. Been doing some of the same challenges I do. So again, a lot of our friends out there in the chat room, hello to you, and thank you for being part of this experience. Turning off the phone. Now, the latest, not this week's, but the latest slideshow experience, and then we're going to be back for some news. Everybody, enjoy. right. Wonderful music, wonderful visuals indeed. Subject of that, Mika Williams, and I guess James Malbrough. That I have to admit, I love doing those. I love doing the slideshow animations. It's an ongoing feature here at PiXX Stereo TV, and one that is symbolic of the things that we do. We take the simple things that we do and turn it in.
Right.
It started out that Vic was taking pictures after the shows of our guests.
Right.
We needed to have some pictures. Then since he was doing that, we decided to start broadcasting that.
Yeah.
And then I started making slideshow animation of that, and then we started catalog.
Yeah.
And then the skill set grew.
Yeah.
We invested in ourselves, and now, Vic, look at what you're doing. And so,
yeah, man.
wonderful,
Trying.
Wonderful. Okay, you guys, let me see if I got everything ready. We got to get ready for the news. Are you ready for some news? Morning Coffee News segment. There we go. Ready? Oh, man, no wonder this is what happens with Apollo 7.
Yeah, man.
See, some stuff's not. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. We call it the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Ooh. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Not necessarily in that order, but so be it.
Right.
This week, Vic, I have to start out by talking about the issue of our good brother Kanye West in the news consistently, with everybody and their mother having to respond to his postings about slavery. There's been a bunch. I know you've seen some of it, Vic. I mean, just without re-reporting all the specifics. You've been taking in all this stuff with Kanye, the whole issue with him. He came on, he said that slavery was a choice. He talked about that he got liposuction because he didn't want people to laugh at him like Rob. Just a bunch of behavioral issues, Vic. So I don't know, just before I even get... have you been noticing it?
I'm sorry, man. Look, man. Look. Okay, I believe there's a narrow bandwidth of neutrality. When I say that, most people come into this world thinking everybody is really in this wide area of thinking similar. And I say, well, the wake-up call will come when you go like, history got us here with a lot of leadership. And you're reminded that a lot of people had a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. And they say freedom of expression. But they did not say you have to qualify your freedom of expression first. They said, I get to talk. So success has taught me something, that a lot of people are successful and they didn't have to necessarily equate that to their mindset. And then some people are terribly smart. Mindset, man. And some people are geniuses and paupers and can't get a living. I'm just reminded of, I said, this is the greatest reality show. And it's only going to get better. And you guys, it's like, are you ready for the download? I kept saying this. Are you ready for the download? Can you handle this? And I'm going, Kim goes like this. I'm standing by my man. Should anybody else?
Half the black women already mad at her because she got with her brother. See, all the dynamics, what cracks me up about Kanye and Kim is all the dynamics that no matter when you're discussing it or who you're discussing it with, there's a bunch of hidden dynamics that people are responding to. If you're talking to a young Jewish person, they have their own dynamics relative to a young black person versus to a young Armenian person. I mean, there are cultural things. The sisters are kind of pissed that he's with her. The international folks, that don't bother them at all.
No.
A bunch of them.
No.
And and all of this goes into people's evaluation of him. So there we go. They're responding to it because of that. That's my whole point, Vic. My whole point about Kanye, and my point on this today is why this is really common and really sad, is that people are focusing so much on the message and not on the messenger. And what Kanye has really been doing to me, Vic, it's been a cry for help. I say this because, and let me preface this too, I'm not a Kanye West fan. I play some of the songs,
Right.
but I'm not a big Kanye West fan or any of that. I do end up following a lot of what he does because he's in the news.
Right.
He's in the media. So my response, my issues with Kanye today, Vic, have to do with my 30 years as a pediatrician, doing mostly emergency. I can recognize people who are in the midst of psychological stress. That's what this man is. The reason why you don't see me jumping on Kanye is because every time I look at him,
Right.
I see signs of the stress. And he's not the only one. I'll go on record because I'm not saying it to call the folks out, but saying that they deserve maybe our empathy, if not sympathy, maybe our empathy and just what they're going through because it's an issue of mental illness. Markel Fultz, that's currently on the 76ers, is another example.
Right.
People don't want to talk about it, but these are people that we see in the media who are going through psychological, potentially psychiatric type issues. Kanye has gone, when you've had a quote unquote breakdown
Right.
or a psych hospitalization,
Right.
of what I understand, he's had more than one.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you something about the person's inner strength, ability to cope with things.
Absolutely.
Kanye's a person I think who deserves our empathy. And I believe there's learning there for a couple reasons. And I said this about Michael Jackson before and other famous people. When you see them have troubles, recognize what their celebrity did not do for them. I'll say it again. When you see them in their struggles, recognize what their celebrity did not do for them. It doesn't keep your loved ones living. It doesn't give you true love and affection. And so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
What it does give you access is the more ways to act out and be extreme, more drugs, more alcohol, more everything. So it allows you the freedom of a lifestyle that can focus merely around your indulgence. So there it goes. So we know, therefore, of unhappy, successful people. That's a cliche.
Yeah.
That's
Look.
a cliche.
Let me say this. I remember the first thing. Does he have more than enough resources to get the assistance he needs? Specialized assistance, focused assistance, right?
That's the blessing, even though I would also say that usually when you're in the throes of that kind of emotional disease, you're not so empowered.
Money
to
makes
make
no difference.
But we say that because our own personal experience is with people who, and again, most people who don't have those resources. As far as I've said before, as a doctor, as far as I know, there is no good mental health coverage in the whole United States of America. I will say it again, or show it to me.
So people will.
Kaiser's
What?
was probably one of the best, and still is inadequate.
So
Wholly inadequate.
So I remember a quote, and I apologize if I get this wrong or not quite accurate. And it's an old school actor and very well known, Henry Fonda. I remember Jane Fonda giving what they call her kind of, included with this whole total program about how great her father was, and said he was a better father on film than he was at home.
Well, somebody's right. That makes sense.
See, so and
I would hope.
and look, here's the part. there are people we drive by who are way worse than Kanye. They don't have a voice and nobody's going to listen to them. Should we set aside special conditions for Kanye?
No, I think we should I think we should have special conditions for all of them.
Yeah.
My point being that I think that we need to take a moment to stop and look around it. Because I'm going to tell you as a doctor, you're just missing the amount of mental illness, depression that is around you. There is so much depression. I don't remember the latest stats, but I know that in the course of their lifetime, most people will experience at least one major depressive episode.
Right.
In the course of their lifetime. People get incapacitated all the time.
Right.
So my point being, I wanted to make sure that I emphasize the stress of mental illness on the person, the family, and that we try to at least work on that empathy. I don't hear that coming out about Kanye, and I'm sure that's because of so many of the things that he's been involved in that way. So I don't hear that coming out about Kanye, and I wish I did.
Right.
I wish I did. Okay. Weekly Trump Disaster Update, you guys, part 2 of the news today. Let me tell you, what can I say? You know, if you go back to my broadcast of 5/22/17, and I'm about to get that one up on Amazon Prime, the big Trump prediction broadcast, I'm getting the big Trump prediction shows up on Amazon Prime thing.
Okay.
But I told you then, I said Trump's story would continue to evolve all the way up until the day and after he's impeached. That's one thing that's so different from him and the other people. Anyone else would have resigned. But Trump's not going to resign. He's going to fight. And because he's going to fight, that means that he's going to get extra ill will. I've already predicted that they're going to try him for treason after he's removed from office.
Right.
Okay, that he's going to be tried. I predicted jail time for Jared Kushner. So go and look at that and see where you think it's headed. But I think my predictions so far are the most accurate of any network. Because first of all, they don't have the guts, or they might say claim the responsibility to make predictions, but I think at some point you have to just acknowledge the obvious.
Right.
Like I've always said, Trump makes sense if you assume he's guilty. All you have to do is assume he's guilty, and everything else makes sense. I've never seen anyone get this amount of a pass in all the media. Even the media that criticize him still stresses the proof hasn't been there. If you had this much proof that your old lady was cheating on you, you'd be packing her shit. Okay? I'm just saying that. Or if you had this much proof that your 16-year-old was sexually active, you'd be waiting for them when they got home from school. Okay? Ready to talk. Okay? So
right.
I don't know how much proof you need.
Right.
But the new normal continues. That's the way I called it. I call it the new normal, Vic. And as the Trump camp, they're circling the wagons and they're preparing the war. That's what they're doing. Bringing on Giuliani, who's an idiot.
No, wait.
Now, see what happens. He used to be a good lawyer. I
want you to take your time and breathe.
Okay, the former mayor,
Mr. G.
He also is the one supposedly who crafted the travel ban, which they said was written so poorly. What's amazing is when you hear the academics, the attorneys, the judges say that these motions are written poorly with typos and errors and all that. They're talking about stuff like that. This is junior high shit.
You know why?
Giuliani can't even get that right. Why, Vic?
Okay. The system is set up that you have checks and balances, not from your associates, but most of them have people who are great writers, like executive assistants, people who actually do that. But because the swamp, as they call it, is full of leaks, they probably don't even want to trust their assistant secretary to read over what they're doing for the grammaticals, much less the layout of what it's supposed to be. And they don't trust anybody. So they just hop over it and take the hit. They take the hit on it laid out, but they get it out to stimulate their base. And I said, notice people will be more forgiving now. And they said, well, I'm not worried about his spelling. They're giving Trump a pass.
Like I said, it's amazing what people are forgiving, of, and that's what it goes to show you. Even though I'm not, I don't think that I would shelter and hide my mass murdering child.
Right.
I think I would bite the bullet and take him and check him in.
Right.
Just for the benefit of the world. We don't know.
Of course.
But I think that a bunch of y'all would just lie and hide your mass murdering child. And with the argument being, that's my child. And that's why we want to put you under the jail with them. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because that ain't the way to handle it.
Right.
At some point, you just have to call out stuff. But
right.
So it is. So the president surrounds himself with more people like Giuliani, which makes you think that it's going to be a stupid fight all the way out because he's gearing up for war, but he's gearing up with a bunch of idiots that are going to make a laughingstock of everything legally. So
Right.
you get to watch all that. I've started calling it the uncabinet, like the old Uncola commercials.
Right.
The 70s. I call it the uncabinet. And Giuliani's now part of the uncabinet. And they get to watch, because right now where you sit is the president's attorney, or whatever he was, because that's certainly in doubt if he was really acting as an attorney, went to one of the worst law schools in the country, supposedly, who just admits anybody who pays. Well, he's the first to plead the fifth.
Right.
And everybody knows that what's coming to a head is the president is going to be subpoenaed because he's going to fight. He's not going to give in. He's going to be subpoenaed. He's already indicated he's going to try to fight the subpoena.
Right.
That's already been done with Clinton.
Right.
Previous episodes, the president cannot. So he's going to be subpoenaed. That's going to lead to dog fights, and it may be some Supreme Court showdowns.
Okay.
We will have to see.
Right.
But that's where it's heading. As part of it, we got to watch this weekend the president become the laughingstock. I'll show you the one from Saturday Night Live with Stormy. First of all, okay, go back and watch it. So this past week, Saturday Night Live was a cameo fest.
Right.
They had Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
They had Jimmy Fallon. I mean, they had they had a bunch. I said Scarlett Johansson. They had, of course, Alec, Baldwin. Mm-hmm. But they also had Stormy Daniels.
Right.
There's the picture right there as herself and saying the storm. So she basically went on. She said, storms are coming or something like that. Storms are brewing.
Right.
So I thought about that for a moment. I said, again, we had a historical new normal. A porn star had just gone on national television to threaten the President of the United States. I'll say that again. A porn star. And by the way, I went and looked, and it wasn't my favorite porn, but a porn star just went on national television to threaten the President of the United States. Mm-hmm. And that is your new normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As part of that, and for you to notice, a bunch of the right-wing Fox folks turning on the president. Laura Ingraham, Neil Cavuto have been pretty vocal in terms of what they've been showing on Fox.
Right.
Laura Ingraham, they basically calling out the president about the lies. And the Cavuto's talking about the swamp.
Isn't it supposed to be a clean unearthing, basically saying nothing associated with traditional politics and politicians? It's supposed to be totally opposite. That's what they're waiting for, right? In other words, we hate that other side so much. We'll take in all the things that you're dealing with, but just don't jump on the other side. We can get on you about your conduct as a husband. We can get on you about, hey, you changed your mind. Get on, but don't give in to the dark side. So I want to ask you, who's the dark side? Because, there's some toe dancing out there, man. And quietly as it may seem, and I'm not following it all the time, you know, the Democrats getting the pass. All they have to do is keep blaming. What are you doing to deliver? And they wait until an election to say, look, we'll have more seats and then we'll do this. I said, and deliver what?
Well, that's the issue because the Democrats haven't really capitalized.
Right.
Even the independents are scrambling. There's Trump, which you hate, and then there's essentially nothing else, and you're going to have to make it all. Which maybe that's the point that you should be adjusting to. You're going to have to get more involved, become part of it, and help to craft the next new wave. Because if you're going to sit around and wait for them to do it for you, well, there's a saying, some folks waiting on a change ain't got enough sense to come in out of the rain. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the good news. The bad news. Any other shit? What can I say? You know my favorite track that I play, we use this music because it's available for you free. You can legally get this music, spread it around to your friends. And we invite you to do that with this. This is Where Do We Go by Love Shadow featuring Melody Romancito and Silk Words.
Love.
We'll be right back
Electrifying
with Marijuana for Dummies.
Between two people with feelings, deep, charismatic, compelling, creating a union that is telling, shining a light, shedding a glow, feeling your soul. From love arises a booming energy, sending the world a message in a bottle. There is more to show. As the love grows and kicks into full throttle, the fused unit produces a message that becomes a more powerful whole.
Facebook 360,
Even
50
more
minutes and
powerful
counting.
Okay.
than the love
YouTube crashed
in
once
full.
already.
We go here, we go there, we go where we think we'll find it. Again we search until we see how it is. We'll never be free, 'cause we make goals, we make plans, we make love. We take stand, 'cause we know our time is short. We make the best of what we bought. But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? We go here, we go there, we go where we think we'll find it. Again we search until we see that we will never be free. But where? But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts?
Love Shadow, featuring Melody Romancito and Silk Words. I love that track. Where do we go? Hey, you guys, you ready to talk about some weed?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Times are a-changing, but some things stay the same.
Yes.
You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay for the reefer.
Yes. Marijuana for Dummies, welcome you guys to the show that resists the miseducation of marijuana, and we do it as a public service. It absolutely has nothing to do with the fact that we enjoy smoking weed so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, today I'm enjoying a hybrid called Taffy. And so I guess I should have done a search for that to see. You know, a lot of times with the weed, let's see if we can do it while I'm on here. A lot of times with the weed, you could look up marijuana strain. You could do a search, marijuana strains Taffy. See if they have anything. Well, no shit. See, this is what happens today. This is part of the wonderful world of the internet. And I didn't even count on this because I didn't look up what I'm smoking today. But lo and behold, I just did. And here is Taffy, a marijuana. Here's a review.
Okay.
There's a couple of reviews on Taffy strain. There's like 5 reviews up here.
Okay.
With Taffy. So let's see what they say from, this is allbud.com. And let's see what they say at allbud.com about Taffy. Taffy is an evenly balanced hybrid, because they told me it was a hybrid, okay. 50% indica, 50% sativa strain, created through crossing the infamous Tango X LA Affy strains. They said this powerhouse bud packs a THC level of 20 to 26% on average and mind-boggling, well-balanced effects. Now, by the way, I want to tell you something. Notice they talk about the THC level of 20 to 26%.
Right.
So I have my pen vapes here,
Right.
okay, the ones I use. And I'm still, man, this stuff lasts too. So these
Okay.
are the vapes, right?
Right.
These average between 85 and the low
I read.
90%.
For an elite group, right?
Man, so you talk about potency. So smoking
Right.
weed flower
Right.
and smoking some of these extracts is totally different. When you look at the how hard hitting these things are. But I wanted you to know, I love to share with you what I'm smoking. Because they, you know, when I go to the dispensary and they say I'm the best customer. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Oh, they're just trying to keep you to come on in.
Well, I tell
Do
them
your
every
thing,
time, Vic, I say, I have them pick it for me.
Right.
And I have them pick, usually I get an ounce. But here's what's changing. The price of weed is going down
Right.
dramatically because of the legalization, the industrialization, because people are doing it. The price of weed is going down. Let me tell you, based on what they're talking right now, on the wholesale price of a pound, it looks like the wholesale price of an ounce will correspondingly be about $110 an ounce wholesale for top shelf.
Okay.
So I've been paying roughly $200 an ounce for top shelf.
Okay.
So the wholesale is going to be going down to about 110. I may be getting that same ounce for 150, 160,
Right.
something like that. That's the part to be determined. But so the wholesale marijuana prices in the United States are plunging, and you know, it's sort of an understandable consequence of having more manufacturers, especially as it starts to go, nationwide and then worldwide. So Look for that and look for it to go down more. I had another thing I wanted to another article. Where was it? Because these are the kind of things that lead to the predictions. This is I just got an article here about the 3 states most likely to legalize marijuana this year, which is the kind of thing that really affects the commerce.
Right.
You know, when you have nationwide marijuana,
Right.
once you have the federal restrictions removed so they can be mainly for banking reasons. Right
that.
now, marijuana is a cash business because they can't establish banking relationships.
They haven't done. They're ahead of the curve right now, man.
So that's the part that's coming. But the states most likely to legalize marijuana this year include Michigan. Where's my? New Jersey and Oklahoma. Now those are some conservative places by nature.
Right.
And so we'll see. I think Michigan already does allow medical marijuana, but it's a lot of places. It's how they do it. Like I understand. Like in New York, they do have the medical, but it's hard to get a card. See, you see what I'm saying?
Just give it some time, man.
Yeah, in LA, you could just walk in. I always tell people, say, "What do I tell them? You have headaches.
Right.
Tell them you have stress." See, when you say stuff like headaches, which is hard to evaluate anyway.
Right.
You know, just tell them you have stress, and so you'll get it. But the good news is the marijuana prices are going down.
Right.
Now, part 2. Victor and I just recently had a wonderful experience because of a former coworker of mine who contacted me. For now, they'll go unmentioned, but in the future, at their bidding, we will help to promote them. About an enterprise that was happening here in Los Angeles. That enterprise was Wake and Bake. Wake and Bake, which calls itself America's Amsterdam-inspired coffee shop. So we got a chance to go up there, meet the owner, the developer, sit around, enjoy the space, and talk to them. And it was interesting because he talked to me about what he had read and seen online about Amsterdam.
Right.
And we got a chance to share. He hadn't actually gotten there yet. He's on his way.
Right.
But I had a chance to talk to him about my experiences in Amsterdam's famous Bulldog.
Right.
Where's my coaster? It's right here. Amsterdam's famous Bulldog Cafe, where I spent every morning that I was... When I was in the Bulldog Cafe within 3 hours of arriving in Amsterdam. I got there, my room wasn't ready.
Right.
So they held my bags, and I walked 3 blocks to the Bulldog, and then I from then on I was ending and beginning every day at the Bulldog. So Amsterdam's model, and in Amsterdam to call yourself a coffee shop, quote unquote, you have to sell marijuana. They're the model that I also point to because there's an issue with where to consume marijuana. Big issue in places like Las Vegas because of the schizophrenic nature of how we deal with these things.
Right.
That we legalize marijuana, but you can't smoke it anywhere.
Right.
Well, not anywhere. You have to be a homeowner. Because in a lot of places you can't do it in your rental apartment or in a hotel.
Right.
Or anywhere in public. So you have to be a homeowner to be in your own home smoking weed. And so these are part of the problems. Well, Wake and Bake is an attempt to deal with that by creating an environment.
Right.
Let's take a look at Wake and Bake. First of all, the website is wonderful. Here's the website, Coffee, Tea, Cannabis, and Culture. Take a look at some of the stuff, Vic, that they have. We've talked about it. They have Theatrical Thursdays. They have a 420 friendly cannabis show. Okay, they have Sundays where they're doing things. Now, it's a club.
Right.
You can get a 24-hour, you get a free one-day pass to just check it out.
Right.
But it's a club, and I'm going to be joining, too. But we went up there. Let's take a look at the outside, because it's in North Hollywood, thanks to Google Maps. There it is right now. Let me see. Can I shrink this part here? Yeah, we can.
You can.
Yeah, there we go. thanks to Google, we can see this 5040 Vineland. There is a little indiscreet, but it's a wonderful homey spot.
Organic.
Organic, what you
organic.
want, kind of what you want. You know, and again, they managed to really kind of capture the Amsterdam feel. I told people that the coffee shops in Amsterdam sort of feel like you're at a health food store. Because they're serving the coffees, the teas. They're big on mint teas. The Dutch think they invented cookies. They claim cookies. And so they give you cookies with everything, little cookies.
Right, right.
You know, but so you're like in a health food store that sells weed. Anti-tobacco. So you can't enjoy your tobacco there, even though in Amsterdam they make an exception for those people who roll joints where tobacco is mixed with marijuana, because that's pretty popular overseas.
Right.
Okay. But so again, but in general, anti-tobacco. But the wake and bake. So we went there, and it was kind of good. So it was cool. Take a look at some of these inside shots. Oh, there it goes. Come on, where's this one? I want this one. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. I guess that's, remember, it's wake and bake, so it's kind of like waking up coffee. Take a look at the Amsterdam-inspired coffee. See that?
Right.
Again, here's the outside. There's the inside, the wake and bake. And they sell marijuana products at a discount to the members.
And not just for people who smoke marijuana.
Yeah, well, that's the part I want. I'm so glad I
social-
had you, Vic. So tell them what you think.
Well, most people, I'm the tester for just the guy that wants to be in any environment, but I don't smoke. And most of the time when you go to a place like that, it's clear definition that you are supposed to engage, purchase, indulge yourself to it. They created the environment because it's in the art district out there anyway. They created this area where distinctly you can not have to be what they would call just particular to it. What you like is the freedom that they're associating a mix of people, whether they indulge or not, because they have other, not services, but you don't have to worry about having this wall. It's not like going to a place in the old days and said, here's the restaurant, here's the bar. Smoking's out in the back on the side over there in that little hub over there. Get away from it as much as possible. This one is really, is quaint, is social, and it's organic. You know, I could tell. I said, oh yeah, this is a little bit
The
different.
smoking wasn't an issue for you.
No, because it didn't invade. I didn't get invaded by something by saying, oh, let me go outside and leave this place. It wasn't like that.
Well, you know, it's kind of, Vic, it's the kind of the atmosphere we try to create here. During our events, I actually told you I was kind of happy with the way it went, because even at our events, we wanted it that people would be able to engage and smoke, but also that it wouldn't overwhelm the experience. Right. So when you came into a show and there was marijuana, it's a marijuana-friendly environment, you didn't feel overwhelmed by the marijuana. It didn't take center stage.
Right.
Interesting enough, at the Wake and Bake, you have a similar feeling. You actually feel like you could go there, do things, hang out, groove. And we're going to be going back for some of the nights. Thursday and Sunday night
Right.
are two of the big nights that are going to be. So once again, I'll show you. Let me see if we got the Wake and Bake, 5040 Vineland Avenue. Go online, search it, go to the website, find out about the coffee, tea, cannabis, and culture, and be part of that experience. I'm giving it my full endorsement, and we're going to be doing some more things. We're going to be going back to check it out, some of the nighttime events on the Sundays and the Thursdays, and see what's happening. The only reason I haven't been up there so far is because of the NBA playoffs. To get in the way.
True.
Times are a-changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day.
All right. Marijuana for Dummies. We're going to be coming right back, you guys, with Victor Allen's new Sportz and the Hot Picks.
Yes, sir.
Take a moment to chill, run to the bathroom, take a toke, and enjoy this wonderful music.
You're too young to be on that bridge. You're too young to be standing on the edge. Too young to be alone with the rain. You're too young. You just wanna be understood. You just wanna be guiltless if you could. Don't be ashamed, 'cause miscalculations on this label, there's nothing good. Oh, you're too young to be on that bridge. You're too young to be standing on the edge. Too young to be alone with the rain. You're too young. Somewhere there's an answer. Somewhere on the way she will know. Somewhere there is someone listening. Somewhere. You're too young to be on that bridge. You're too young to be standing on the edge. Too young to be alone with the rain.
Why?
You're too young. Girl, get on your feet. No more hiding, let them see you. Don't be ashamed, 'cause variety is the splendor of life and dreams. You're too young to be on that bridge. You're too young to be standing on the edge. Too young to be alone with the rain.
This ain't sound about
You're
it.
too young.
Again, that's Love Shadow featuring Snowflake.
You're too young.
Too young.
Too young.
Just to give you all an update on the technical advances that we're using here today, we've had some dropouts, continuing to have that issue. So those of you who are connected to us through social media may have experienced those dropouts. Same thing with the 360 stream. We did about 50 minutes straight, though, broadcasting without an issue with the live 360. We're working out why these things occur. There's an issue, too, with our connection broadcast-wise being consistent. So it's stuff we're troubleshooting. We're just including you in the mix because so many people wonder how we do what we do. And we want it to not be a secret of the fact that we're trying very hard to incorporate these new technologies and indeed pioneering.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
All day, man.
You guys ready for some sports?
If they're not, they can turn it off.
Victor Allen's Newz Sportz, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you, written and directed by the bald-headed black man, the man that the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolate. Rub his head and make a wish. It's your version of sports. Remember to dress appropriately. Sports bras and jock straps. Bring your own foot powder. It's going to be that kind of a day, everybody. Yeah, sports! Yeah!
I'll give you about a 2.
Two.
Yeah, give you about a 2. Yeah, man. Now, I know you over there troubleshooting. I can tell.
Oh, no, it's cool.
You good? Okay. Let me give my respect to the fam, Periscope fam. Lizzie. Hey, also, thanks, Lachelle, for the, you know what's up. Yes, it is. It's a cool one. Live.me just started with you guys. I had to put you on delay, big old live. And then, of course, I'm over here trying to deal with the Twitch app just to make sure I can go to our Periscope stream. Went to the live at YouTube. Check that out as well. I needed to subscribe. I feel embarrassed. All right, man. Most exciting thing in sports right now in your mind, period. Most exciting.
NBA playoffs.
Why?
Because the people that you didn't expect to be there are there.
Right.
Well, some of them that you expected, but the dynamics are different.
Yeah.
The people who were a given are not a given.
Right.
And you certainly can see
Right.
the next wave of teams
Right.
coming. You see who the up and coming are because they're showing those signs. You got to take Boston Celtics seriously.
Yeah. Look.
You got to take them seriously. You got to take the Utah Jazz seriously. You got to take the Pelicans seriously. Kate the name. It's like it's like the Ducks for hockey, right? Some names just don't inspire me to go woo team, and Pelican is
man.
one of them. But anyway, the way they're playing and what you're seeing from them, amazing. A newly Rajon Rondo, amazing, Vic. Just what they're turning around and showing. So you're totally right. I'm loving it, and that's what's been keeping me from getting to the wake and bake.
Gotcha.
That I got to be home
to watch it.
Yeah.
All right, let me do this. I want to show you my three fans. You go right back up to the top of Newz Sports. I want to show you. I got three fans, and they got names. You keep going. You see if you bring it on down. There you go. I got three fans. Welcome. That's Miko, Shelly, Shell, and Jose. I got three fans. Welcome back. The Sportz, they weren't paying attention or was not paying attention the whole time, but I'm welcome back because they sent me this as the GIF, but they didn't want to give any comments. I got love for you guys. All right. Okay. It's kind of hard to talk about what has happened already, dude, when actually you're supposed to talk about what's about to come. So I don't need to even go back and say, you guys did a great job, 76ers. Because you're getting swept. I said, well, give them props. This is the first time this team has come together to play this way. And they haven't had a full year, whereas Boston, I mean, you could sit back and say they're a young team, but those players have been there. You get a year under your belt, it's a world of difference, man, straight up. So even though they don't have Gordon, Kyrie, and then they also have to shuffle because other injuries may be apparent, I give them props, man, because they've had an semblance of a process, and the coach is the bomb. He knows how to coach them. And here's the other thing. They play that damn good defense. They move their legs. You can see it clearly. Now, with Philadelphia, they can dominate you with the talent and inside, but they're just not as fast on defense. They're good on offense, and then they're making the mistakes. So cool. I'm not mad at them. Now, am I shocked? I'm way bowled over by the idea that Philadelphia hasn't won a game, and they are probably going to get swept. That's the part that's shocking to me.
Like.
Man, did you think they were going to possibly be down with not winning a game against Boston? Okay, that's my point. So less shocked about Utah and Houston because that's a 1 seed against an 8 seed. Isn't that supposed to be kind of the norm that the 8 seed may get one game? So I'm not shocked about that one. So let's just do this. And I'm just going to say this right offhand. You ready for the matchup with Cleveland?
Oh, can't wait.
Okay. You can't wait. Will Cleveland be able to run that type of game where they just sit back and go, give it to Bron, give it to Love, back in. Nobody's going to come over and play defense one-on-one, have it your way. That's not going to happen with Boston.
We're about to see things get very competitive across the series.
Right.
The beginning, the first round, of course, is not the same, even though there were some entertaining moments.
Right.
Second round becomes something else, indeed. And then, of course, the next round. So it's going to be very different. For Cleveland's not a shoe-in.
Right.
Okay. And in the West.
Well, I'm about to get to that, but this is what I want to come up to. Big Four against Big Four. All right. And I'm about to sit back and you're going to tell me, if you had to guess, who needs to step up. And I'm going to go with the big four first. That's at Cleveland. You got LeBron James averaging 34.8, Kevin Love 13.9, Kyle Korver 10, J.R. Smith 9.5. Look at the scoring on Boston's big four. The big four. Now, I want you to understand, this is the big four. Terry Rozier at 19, Jason Tatum at 18, Al Horford at 18, Jaylen Brown at 17. They have an equal distribution of points scored. Now, if Cleveland plays exactly the way they're playing right now against Toronto, is it done deal for Boston? If they play right now the way they're playing? Or is it that, because at the end of the day, they got LeBron who just runs roughshod over everybody. Can Boston handle, or will they try to collapse on LeBron and say, you're not going to get that freedom to do what you did with Toronto?
No, I think they're going to follow what everybody sees. Certain formulas always did work and continue to work.
Right.
You shut down everybody else. And then that's what everybody does. That's the formula. Whenever you have a superstar player,
Right.
it's almost impossible to stop.
Right.
You put your best, well, that's arguable too.
Right.
You put someone on him who won't foul out.
Right.
Who can pass to them consistently.
Right.
And then you try to shut everybody else down.
Right.
And hope that that's the difference in the game. And so that'll be the formula here too.
Right.
Cleveland certainly has people who can step up, even though what I would say is this. Do not be surprised if the ones who step up for Cleveland are not the ones on this list. It could definitely be Nance. It could definitely be Clarkson. To be seen.
Right.
So, again, we're going to see. There's no question to win. It doesn't even make a difference if you're just talking about now or for the future. To go further in the playoffs, Cleveland's going to need more from the other players, period.
Right.
That's just a fact. So no matter where they go, whether it's this game or if they manage to go further,
Right.
no matter who they see, they need more from everybody.
Right.
And if they don't, they will lose.
And here's the other thing. Would you consider right now, if Boston doesn't win anything else, a successful season without their two best players? Would you consider, hey, if they don't win anything else, they've proven to go beyond with most people. You take the two players off, that's like Durant. Well, I can't equate those players like that, but that's like just taking the two.
Those are the kind of things I like to say in retrospect. I know for me, too, as a person, as a player, they don't make me feel any better at the time. So that's interesting and good conversation. But usually to have those kind of conversations, you have to assume you were going to be doing less than you did.
Right.
Now, if you assume that you are a championship contender, you kind of don't feel that way, that you're happy that your season was this good. You feel like you were a championship contender. And so, again, it's just like it's happening with with Russell Westbrook. I'm not sure you're not saying, well, we did make it to the playoffs. It depends on whether or not you thought you should be winning in the playoffs. And so a lot of us don't feel people like Boston or Utah should have any feelings like they may win. And so, but they do, and that's why they challenge the way they do. So
here's the thing. I know with Boston, when they do that switching, they have the talented players who are a little bit bigger who will be able to switch easily on LeBron than what Toronto's done. Here's the other thing. Toronto winning 60 games or plus and getting knocked out this early, they're going to have to take a step back. And the first thing I'm seeing from them is that they got to get smarter in what they do. Smarter in what they do. So, with that being said, not a problem. Houston, Golden State, everybody's waiting for. Is that simple, dude? Okay. Chris Paul's time has come. He knows what it's like to be here. This is where he gets up against the Great Wall. They got home field advantage. This is Harden's time. And right now, who's playing the best defense? Not sure. But let me give you the big four versus the big four. And then you'll understand. So the big four on Houston is James, Chris Paul, Clint Capella, and Trevor Ariza, who I believe Trevor has to step up a little bit more because he's averaging only 9 points a game. You go to Golden State, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. You know what they need to me? And even though they have a game up, I still fear Golden State's defense because when they step it up, it's just amazing how they swarm. So here's my question. Does Chris Paul get out of the Western Conference Finals and get into his first NBA championship? Simple. Will they get past Golden State?
No.
See,
Not at all. There's a character issue here.
Oh.
Chris Paul is
Oh.
a wonderful compliment. To me, he's the steadying force
right.
at Houston. Capella, I liked before. We talked about him before. I said that in his rookie year.
He's got
I said
legs,
that.
man.
I said that in his rookie year. I was
Yeah.
arguing, why don't the Lakers have somebody like that? But
Right.
anyway,
Right.
no. Because to me, as much as Harden is a wonderful leading scorer, he is a liability when it comes to character.
You
So
saying
in
he's
other
the
words,
weakness?
what I'm saying,
He's the weakness?
you win and lose, he's the weak link.
Out of all the four that I just named, he's the weak link.
There's a character issue, and in certain moments,
Okay.
to me, when you have people like him,
Right.
and I've watched him tank in games before where he purely gave up.
Right.
Okay, so to me, he has a deep-seated character issue.
So wait.
So forever, he's forever tarnished in my group. He'll never be.
Oh, no.
So he has a deep-seated character issue.
Oh, no,
So
man.
I predict that. I don't think that. First of all, I think Golden State is way too heady for them. I think that when it comes to playing under pressure,
Right.
they've already done it over and over and over again. That the calibers are played, even though that James Harden can lead in scoring, that in the way that he does it,
Right.
it's simply not enough for a championship. So I'm going to predict, I'm going to tell you, they're not going to win.
Ooh. Will it go 7?
No.
You know who has home court advantage?
So Houston,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many games you giving
We
Houston,
will
man?
see. In other words, I expect them to disappoint you, and for them to then act out because of that.
I'm gonna give them. Okay. Look, this is hard. I think they offset each other when it comes to the style of play offensively. I think they both. You can't stop neither one. I think the bench on Golden State is not as strong as it used to be, and Houston's bench is a little bit stronger. But I also feel this. I just don't think Houston's defense can swarm as well as Golden State. So to me, it's about turnovers and smart play. You got Chris Paul, he's a little bit smarter, but can they? Because they just got this team that knows how to.
They don't have a KD answer.
They don't have a Draymond Green. If
Well,
you want to compare Capella, because
I think Capella and Green will be actually
battling,
pretty good.
they're gonna be battling.
That's going to be a good battle.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't give Draymond a win on that automatically at all.
He adds more 3-point and
Right.
underneath and rebounding.
No, he has. I mean, I know that, but in that matchup, don't be surprised if Capella does more than hold his own,
Right.
and actually may come out the better on a few
Okay.
areas. So
Okay.
no, that's not a given. If I'm the Warriors, Draymond versus Capella is not an area which I feel overconfident.
Right.
Where I feel confident has to do with Kevin Durant.
Got you. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
where it has to do.
Oh, yeah,
because they
he's
don't
the
have
one.
a good answer for him.
Right. And
You know,
that's just
they
it.
just don't.
No.
And when they take Capella, and their answer would be Capella, but Capella's going to have to deal with Draymond.
Right.
So if Draymond can stay out of foul trouble, Houston needs Capella to do a number of things. They're going to have to choose.
Right.
And we'll get to see
Right.
where they direct him, because he's going to have to defend somebody. Who's going to defend Kevin Durant and who's going to defend Draymond? So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if they don't have that confidence that they can come back and who's leading them. I think Chris Paul, this is where his value is going to come in, where he
I
goes.
agree.
I think he's going to calm.
I think he's shown it.
He's going to calm him down and say,
Yeah,
"Look, I don't ever
exactly.
give up. I'm like, I hate to say it, he's the closest thing to a Kobe mentality, even though he doesn't have what they call the requisite skills like Kobe, but he's always thinking.
No, Vic, he
he's
has
always
specifically the character traits that Harden doesn't.
Right.
That's the part that came up. When Harden quit
right.
in that series,
I know.
to me, you
I know,
never,
man. You
ever
never do
quit.
that.
Ever, ever.
I'm not mad at you, man.
So that's what my thing. And Chris Paul has that thing. He ain't never quit.
Okay.
He ain't never quit.
Okay, I'm about to do this next transition from the perspective of money spent. All right, let me just say this, okay? Because I know this. I know if I'm the owner and I sign my Westbrook Phenom to that $200 million contract, and then I bring in, okay, Paul George and Carmelo, and I got knocked out the first round, and then I come back this year, overachieve or underachieve. It's that simple. Spending cash now. This is not about players that you got to wait for. They all got playoff experience under their belt. Well, this can be considered somewhat of a failure in an experiment this year.
I mean, I think some people would. I actually don't. I have a number of reasons. I think Paul George worked for them. I think the only issue is Carmelo. And I think that's because of where Carmelo is today in his career and what players like that require for the team to work, which I'm just not a fan of. We've been through that. And even though I can love those players, I can love an Allen Iverson, I can love a Carmelo Anthony, and I can also say that building a team around them is a recipe for disaster. That's the way I just happen to feel. Because when you build your team around just that center scoring thing, you're going to live and die. It's not enough in a championship thing. But on the other hand, Vic, they got beat by a team that I think is emerging as one of the better in the NBA. So the fact that they got beat, to me, doesn't symbolize, I think, what a lot of people take out of it, because the team that beat them is emerging to me as one of the really growing teams who's really stepping forward. So, no, if you want to just look in terms of like the other way, then I would say those people who think like that, I would say they're under the misconception of thinking that spending money equals wins automatically. And I would say you need to get rid of that misconception. That's been proven over and over again that don't work.
Now,
so if you
agree.
think that they want to win, if you think they deserve to win just because they spent a bunch of money,
no, that's
then
not
I go
it.
like,
no,
forget it.
I'll put it under music production. You go spend all this money to produce these artists, and they give you a half-ass, but you equate it to this is how you perform, but you don't perform it at the level. When you spend all your money, you end up going, I paid for the background and the profile you have as a winner. And for me, on a cash level, I am thoroughly blown away when they had this team going, this is the team that's going to probably compete ahead of Houston going into the conference finals. They didn't make it out of the first round, and they didn't even get to a game 7. So I'm only saying from a cash perspective, this was a disappointment.
So that means inherently I would ask you this question. Had you gotten those two players at a bargain, you would feel differently.
Oh, yeah, look. I like what the coaches.
That's what I'm saying. No. So that's
right.
your point. If it's purely a cash issue,
because
if you had gotten both of
yes,
those players
there's a reason
bargain,
why.
See, to me, I wouldn't feel any better had I gotten. I'm going to feel the same based on their performance.
I like what the coaches say. They do this. Everybody's under the assumption that everybody's equal. Everybody says the best talent wins. It's like being on a track team and you practice. No. I'm saying what the coaches are saying.
Well, they're wrong.
They say, give me the best talent versus those who go, you can have the hardest workers, but they just don't have the talent. They just don't have the skills like a LeBron. They can work as hard as LeBron, but nobody can be a LeBron. And they're saying, when you give me that, you see the history of the NBA, and you see it clearly that the best talent, Golden State, best talent.
I disagree.
So,
I actually disagree. I think the history of sports in general has a legion of examples of teams that had the best talent that underperformed.
No, I didn't say
that's
not.
I think that's actually a
no.
cliche.
I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying absolute.
Well, I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, what the most historical teams to me are the ones who overperformed in the face of lower expectations.
Okay, let me give you.
Those are the teams.
Give you the Boston Celtics and Lakers, the best talent, and they dominated the time. Even though other teams were around, they had the best talent on their teams comparably, and everybody just suffered at their waist. No matter how hard they worked, the best talent. Everybody wanted the best talent.
Well, again, I would say, Michael, there are people who played at that time would make a different argument. Michael Jordan when you talk about the Detroit Pistons at that time or Michael Jordan, those teams had a lot to say about that.
Right.
Because they actually competed against those teams. And I could throw in the Pacers too. So, and maybe even the Knicks.
Right.
So there were a bunch of teams who competed. My point just simply being,
Right.
if you think that just because you spend the biggest money or have the best talent means that you're going to win, then you need to just be aware of all the great teams that specifically did that and failed.
Oh, yeah.
Of which there's a legion. I don't mean you just mean the people out there.
Right.
And so this one is no different.
Right.
And when you look at it, you can't say that Russell Westbrook really underperformed.
Oh, look, let me say about
You can't
Russell.
say Paul George. So the only person you can really say underperformed is kind of Carmelo. Then it's a matter of team play. And like I said, I still go, they got beat by a team I think is emerging as one of the better teams of the NBA.
Look at this part. Chris Paul goes to Houston, makes a world of difference. Now, they still have something to prove and make a world of difference so far. If you would have gave me Paul George just by himself, I would have said, add Paul George to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He plays defense and the talent. Just as one person, there's a plus-minus ratio, they say, will he increase the games? Just like Lonzo Ball. As much as people complained, I said, is there going to be a plus game comparison? They did. They won 10 extra games this year.
Which I could argue 10 extra games out of an 80-game season is what percentage?
Yeah, but it's still...
It's almost nothing.
Right, I know. I
It's
understand
not
it.
as significant.
No, it's the expertise and also the experience in the playoffs.
Well, that's what I
he
said.
has.
It will to be determined, just like the issue about Houston. Even though I think having Chris Paul make certain things, that hasn't been borne out yet. True. In other words, the team did well last year. So they have to they have to do better than that to say that to me that he made it better.
Right.
Or else you could say, well, it looked better.
That's why I said up to this
the
point.
Outcome may not. So to be determined.
Absolutely.
To be determined. I don't know that.
Right. And I'm saying if I'm a CEO and I spend that much money and I go, look, on paper, here's your the plus minus. If I got equal amount of games and I spent an extra $150 million, I'm going to my expertise and say, here's the players you want. Or you can go draft and build to later. And so these teams are making these decisions. Most of us said, when those three get together, we're going to see a little bit more fire. It just didn't happen. I don't think anybody guessed this. They're not going to get out of the first round.
Teams and I think maybe this is part of the problem with the Lakers. The teams that like instant fixes with remarkable changes in their teams, to me, I think you're going to see all of them performing consistently.
Right.
I will say it again. You don't need to go into Oklahoma and change that team with a sledgehammer. It needs surgical precision. That's what I said about Cleveland. So you go in and do these huge turnovers to the team, and you don't make anything better. That's what Cleveland did. They didn't really make it better. So we will see. I'm not for that method of coaching or player management. I'm more for teams that show up different. For example, even though they didn't do well this year,
right? San
Antonio, for a small market over the course of 20 years,
right?
That's the kind of pattern that I want to demonstrate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I don't. What the Lakers are doing, like this whole thing of getting the big marquee player, this and that. I think a lot of those ways of managing teams lead to failure.
Right, and they haven't even got them yet. They haven't really got anybody.
Well, when they do, but everything they've done, they have to take responsibility for all the changes they've made in preparation for whatever they're going to do.
Right.
So far, to me, I go like you to be judged on that.
Absolutely. Okay, it's time to give some respect to the ladies who run this. Let me just say it: run this bitch. You know, there's a place where you say, where can the women compete with the men? Very few sports you can. So I have to give an acknowledgement because I remember hearkening to the old school player. It's a man's world, except in Commerce, Georgia. So I want to give a shout out. NHRA Southern Nationals in Commerce, Georgia. Top Fuel Funny Car, won by Leah Pritchett. Courtney Force wins. Top Fuel, and Courtney wins Funny Car. Number one, they win the Wally. On the same day, it's only going to happen once in history where the women dominate the top fastest cars on the track. And I'm saying it's not a man's world anymore. And when we're talking about 1-to-1, holding it up, which gives me the question to ask Mario. What's the fastest car you would want to drive in as a limit? 120, 100, 80?
No, none of that. And let me just be clear.
Right.
NHRA, that's drag racing, right? But I didn't hear you say that was drag, so I wasn't sure first.
Yeah, well, I just said NHRA.
So that's drag racing.
Yep.
So that racing is,
Yes.
in a straight line,
Yes.
going fast.
Yes.
It's not,
No, not your
I'm not ever. I'm always
Right.
unsure how to term it racing because I go.
Right.
It's like almost like NASCAR when you only turn in one direction.
Right.
Left,
Left. Right.
I mean, so
Right.
I don't know. That is at least racing. So.
Right. Yeah.
But drag car, well, you've had some famous women. You had a couple of really famous women in the past in drag racing.
Yeah.
Here in Southern California.
Absolutely.
So I think it's wonderful, and I support the women. But why? I will say this. Y'all taking on all the dangerous shit, huh?
Dude,
But
listen.
more power to you.
Hey, look.
More power to you. I want the men to stop doing some of this stuff. Next, we're going to have, the women doing drag racing, which is dangerous. People,
Look.
people die. So anyway, I just want to say congratulations to the ladies for their heart, for their perseverance, for their talent.
Yeah.
So let's give them a clap.
Yeah, that's it. If you want to get a couple of shots of the winning car, you can see Leah Pritchett's right below there. She has she drove hers to a 3.874 second, 1,000 feet at 322 miles per hour.
That's crazy.
Why,
I'm
man?
not doing any of that.
Why not, man?
I can't even do 85 anymore on the freeway.
You're not going to do it, right? Hey, look, the Wally also represents that there's a winner in funny car, and that's Courtney. She got hers for her second victory of the season at 4.046 seconds at 313 miles.
Who the
per
hell
hour.
is Wally any damn way?
That's the
Wally.
That's the name of the that's the name of the
It's
trophy,
like
man.
a Chevy Chase
It's the
movie.
name, man. It's the
Wally's
Wally.
World. We go to Wally World.
Hey, man. I'm
Have
just
a
saying.
Chick-fil-A.
I'm just saying this. When you go look at these women and what they're doing, it's more about what they do with the speed and how they compete with the man straight up. Very few sports where men and women are not separated by the gender. So I want to give shots out. Okay, thoughts real quick. I call this thoughts. If the Cleveland Cavaliers win the take out that A, the NBA title, will we forget Tristan Thompson's personal dilly-dallies?
No, because a bunch of the women could care less about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh.
All they care about is Tristan Thompson's. What we learned is the power of social media.
Right.
When you can go and get booed at a sporting event for cheating your old lady. Okay, I'm just saying the world has changed. Imagine that, Vic. Vic, imagine back in our day going into a party, just going to a neighborhood party, and then when we walk in, they go like, "You cheaters! You cheater! Victor Allen, you cheated on my friend." The whole party goes, "Oh."
You mean like at our parties where we got those kind of cheers? Okay, you got some?
I'm just saying,
You got some?
I would be shocked. That's the end of an era. Player got called out in the arena. And you guys, let's not mistake that. There were guys who sat there quietly while their old lady went crazy.
Absolutely.
Tristan Thompson, I can't. Maybe I just brought you to the game, Yeah, Tristan Thompson.
Watch what Cleveland does. Watch the fans.
Trilogy of Terror, dog.
Watch the fans when they win that NBA title. Watch the
What
memory.
NBA title?
If they win that NBA
They're
title,
not gonna win the NBA title. Listen, I don't root against LeBron because I have so much respect for him. I don't root against him. There's certain people that I don't want to root against. I won't root against Horford.
right?
So I just try to watch the game and root for whoever does the best, kind
Right.
of thing. So, but they don't have a chance. Cleveland don't have a chance. They can't beat Houston or Golden State. That would be a swept. They would almost get swept. I would put it like this.
They won't win, but they won't be swept.
Well, I put it like this. If they won't win two,
That's actually see.
they may get a game.
Okay,
But they won't win two.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I got you.
They
And
don't have it, dude. I'm sorry. They don't have it.
Even though they got two good players that they're anchors, it's not enough though. It's not enough. Not enough.
They haven't been playing together long
Yeah.
enough. They need that bench additions, even though I think those long term work for them. Nance and Clarkson,
Right.
I think are great additions for them.
Right.
Nance, no, it's not enough to be. No, they can't be Houston. Like I said, they may get one. And that's coming from somebody who kind of. I like LeBron. I'm a LeBron. I admit to being a fan of his.
But I like.
He can't do everything.
No, I agree. I believe they're away. First of all, they don't play defense the way they used to. So that's number one. LeBron can't.
That's one thing.
That's a big thing.
He can't do that and score 40 points. If he has to score 40 points a night for them to win, come on, man. That's not even fair.
That's why I said, look at the parity of the scoring of the Big Four versus the Big Four. He has a big chunk of it, and he can't take on. It has to be dispersed out to other players.
And they haven't shown. They need Kevin Love to be getting more like 18, 20 a game. They need JR
that's why I said
14.
They're getting older.
14, right?
They're getting
and
older.
And they need like Tristan Thompson to get. He can still get 12 to 14, but it would help if he gets 16.
They're going to have to step up. Anyway, let me go over the next one. Are the National Hockey League's Vegas Golden Knights the biggest story in sports to date in 2018?
Yeah, because it's Las Vegas.
No, it's because they're going to the Western Conference Finals in their franchise first year.
Right, at Las Vegas.
Right.
It makes it a big deal.
Big deal, right?
Now, you wonder what they did. To me, I always say sometimes they set up franchises to do better, Vic. We even have seen that in the NFL, NBA, because it's how they personally vote those rules for how they come up with the players. You know, they give rules like where you can protect X number of players, and they get to pull from your players. Right. Then they get to draft. So I would say give heads up and some accolades to the hockey management systems because they made it possible. Right. Which is exciting for everybody, right?
Yeah.
To get that in there.
Yeah.
You know, that they get applause. Where's my...
There you go. Cool.
Get applause.
Okay, the last one here. I have to correct. I'll go up and update. I left out a word here. If invited to the Kentucky Derby on a rainy day, would you walk on the rain-soaked track with the favorite horse?
Yeah, with my babe wearing that big-ass hat.
So you would walk.
You have to have the big-ass hat.
Rain-soaked.
Yes, I would have my special boots to step in some of the horse poo-poo.
Because got it.
Might be some horse poo-poo.
Right.
But at the Kentucky Derby, first of all, you throwing back those mint juleps. And if you've never had a mint julep, people forget how wonderful mint juleps are. They're really light and refreshing. Right. So get your babe out there. You know you're going to be boning her later that night.
Okay.
You get her out there.
This is not
in
the
big
segment.
hat. You get the...
Not trying to.
Drink the drinks. You get big time...
Commercial.
Fucked up.
Commercial.
And you enjoy the Kentucky Derby.
Commercial.
They're all with beautiful women with big hats.
Let's go to the next. First of all, I want to give shout out to UCLA, the UCLA Bruins, the women's volleyball team. Yay! National champs. Got to give you respect. Also, you guys, we ran along today because we're back on Morning Coffee here. I'm out. Stay tuned for Hot Picks, you know.
Victor Allen, Newz Sports, written and directed by the gifted, talented black man, Victor Allen, who played every sport. He played all those parlor sports. We all do. He can prove it because he has all the outfits. Tune in for the recurring segment with Allen's Newz Sports. Hot and heavy. Yeah, dress right. Be ready. You love it. It's sports. First day back. We love it. What's happening, Lizzie? Mac, PMC. Everybody. Ray. Cassie. What's up?
Just can't say goodbye. Every time we do, well, it's just another lie. I know you're no good.
Okay, here we are, the last segment for our, I guess you can say, our mid to late spring launch of the Return of Morning Coffee. Here's the last segment for the show. I'm going to go through this quickly because it's a little bit different than usual, because I have to qualify why we're doing this subject from a source that you don't use as the general reference for information. But let me explain to you what it's about. This is called Wikipedia's Most Controversial Top People. It's a segment from a group of 100. Now, let me explain to you, this is not Wikipedia doing it. This is a study from somebody who said, let me give you what I found. And then we're going to see if you're going to be surprised, or if it's no surprise, who may not be in there and who definitely you don't think would be in there in the first place. Let me explain. The 1,000 most edited English language pages, which is 534 articles to isolate the individuals, 127 people. Each person's page has been revised over 10,000 times since 2001. The number of edits reflect how much we care about the content of a Wikipedia page. Based on the definition of controversy, prolonged public disagreement or heated discussion, we would interpret most edited to mean most controversial. So there you have. This is not one of those universal, oh, this is the most controversial source. It's what the person is using as the analytics, how often they updated it, and the content in which it was updated. The number of edits can be used as a surrogate measure of controversy because frequent revisions over a long period of time are caused by underlying conflicts of interest between Wikipedia editors. So we're going to see if, Mario, you're going to be shocked by...
Well, let me just make sure I got this right, because I use Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Wikipedia is an online encyclopedia that's edited by the world.
Yes.
Anyone makes edits there.
That's right.
They have people who review the edits.
Mm-hmm.
You can lodge a complaint against an edit, like if you don't agree.
Right.
So it has an ongoing process by which people add to postings and have those postings critiqued by the world at large.
Right.
So I totally get this. So that means when you have a posting that people are editing, and as you said, how many times? 10,000 times?
At least
10,000 times that someone has edited.
Since 2001. And you're going to get this
That's
group.
an incredible amount of attention for that posting.
And as we go down the list quickly, you're going to pick your number one. And is there somebody who shockingly is on there that you didn't think would be on?
That just means that these are the people whose postings have an historical importance.
Yes.
And that's why they're being edited. So it's going to be things that have extreme historical importance where people are going to be disagreeing as to what the legacy of those people are.
And some people, surprisingly, because history tends to roll backwards when you say, hey, here's something that's happened, but you'll be shocked by a few of the people that's in here. So let's go right to the list and take you to number one. And it's not in the numerical order of what we're presenting. Number one, Adolf Hitler, German politician who was the leader of the Nazi Party, and Hitler initiated World War II in Europe with the invasion of Poland in September 1939 and was central to the Holocaust. All we're doing is going down the
Code
list.
of personality, I'm not surprised. Again,
Right.
these are the type of things that in Wikipedia are going to invite different people to comment. You can imagine the people that would comment
Right.
on his bio, his legacy,
Right.
even in the world of academia, so it's going to be huge.
Yes, absolutely.
Not surprised at all.
Let's go to number two, because we got 10 here. Going to the next, of course, in alphabetical order, Barack Obama, American president who served as the 44th president of the United States from January 2009 to January 20th, 2017, the first African American to assume the presidency. He's on that list.
No particular order, you're saying?
This is alphabetical, but there's a 1 through 10. There's a top dog.
Oh, yeah, because I'd be curious who was the top
You're right. All right. So that's number 2.
Okay.
Let's go to the next. Do I need to say more? Do I need to say more? Just say Beyonce, right? Do I need to say more? It's that simple.
Big leg woman.
I mean, right. So let me just say this: American singer-songwriter, actress. The Forbes ranked her as the most powerful female in entertainment on their 2015 and 2017 lists. So she got power. Now, does that mean it's controversial? That all is depending. It all
Or
depends.
just popular as hell.
Right. But it's the updates and changes, of course. Let's go to the next. Let's keep it rolling. Oh, yeah. Britney Spears, American singer, dancer, and actress. Spears was credited with with influencing the revival of teen pop during the late 1990s and early 2000s. How did she get on this list?
You got a good picture.
Right. Wait a minute. How did she get top 10 now? And you should see the list of 100 people. It's shocking to me sometimes.
Don't make fun of Britney.
Hey, man.
Don't make fun of Britney.
That's just the way it is. Let's go to the next. Next up, it's real simple, man. George W. Bush, American politician who served as the 43rd president of the United States from 2001 to 2009. After his re-election, Bush received increasingly heated criticism from across the political spectrum for his handling of the Iraq War, Hurricane Katrina, and other challenges. Not surprising to you, man?
No.
Not at all, Lil.
No.
No. All right. Okay, let's go to the next. You gonna
The
hit
order
that?
is what's going to surprise me.
Right. Okay. Jesus Christ. He is a central figure in Christianity. Most Christians believe him to be the incarnation of the God.
That's got to be the most controversial.
The God, the
Wikipedia.
Son,
That's got to be number 1.
and the awaited Messiah, Christ prophesied in the Old Testament. See, I knew Mario was going to chime in
That's
already.
got to be number 1.
Right.
Because you know the controversy over that. And imagine people objecting to your objection.
Right.
You could put an objection and say, well, this is being... Then they,
Right. And because I believe in the image that you should, and let people say, this is who he looks like to me. So that's why I just give you.
You mean the blind, blue-eyed Jesus?
I'm just giving people
That's the thing. People go like, pray to the blind, blue-eyed Jesus.
There we go. See, he had to go there.
I'm just saying, if you need... My only issue... I'm with you, Vic. You can make Jesus look like whatever you want
Thank
to make
you.
it relevant to you.
Absolutely.
But I also add this.
Right.
But if you really need for Jesus to be blind and blue-eyed, you're a racist. Okay? If you really need that, if you have to have that, it can't be real looking. If the idea of a Jesus that's historically accurate bothers you, then you're a bigot.
Okay. I got Mario. I got him on
And
this
I
one.
say that if you black.
Right.
The self-hate is prevalent too.
There you go. We got a sounding board, you guys. All right, let's go to the next. I always say you find surprises here. Next up, Kane, wrestler, American
Oh, that's
professional
the first surprise.
actor, businessman, politician signed to WWE on the Raw brand. Outside of professional wrestling, Jacobs has made numerous guest appearances in film and television, including the lead role in the 2006 WWE Studios production See No Evil and 2014 sequel. Jacob,
Oh, I saw those.
Jacob is a longtime supporter of libertarian political causes. All right, so got you a little bit shocking in that top 10, right? That's jacked up, man. You just had to go there. So you got your first surprise.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. I don't watch wrestling.
Right.
Because I have a brain.
No, that's, they make money. Man.
Like I said, somebody's got to buy a pen, Rob.
Let's go to the next. Oh, boy. Let's keep it rolling. All right. Michael Jackson, American singer, songwriter, and dancer. Dubbed the king of pop, Jackson became a figure of controversy in the 1980s due to his changing physical appearance, his relationships, and behavior. Forbes ranked Michael Jackson as the top earning deceased celebrity for the 5th consecutive year in 2017. He's still making cheese.
Above
right?
Elvis.
Yes.
We'll see where Prince comes in now.
Talking about money now.
As
All
they
right.
die, it changes.
Are you surprised that he's on the list?
No.
Okay, let's go to the next.
I'm only surprised with Kane.
All right, I got you. Oh, surprise, Roger Federer.
That's kind of a
Yeah,
surprise.
all right.
I heard of him.
Swiss professional tennis player who is currently ranked number 2 in the men's singles tennis by the Association of Tennis Professionals, ATP. He is regarded by many fans, players, and analysts as the greatest
Really? That's
tennis player of all time. How did he get on the top
I don't
10?
know, because I didn't think tennis. I would have thought it would have been Venus or Serena.
Yeah,
Before him.
It's shocking.
Because there's still the female thing. You know?
Right.
And even before that, Chris Evert, maybe even.
Right.
Tennis. You know what?
What?
Again, it's the Wikipedia.
That's why.
Who's going to Wikipedia?
And how much change?
But it's still funny to see Roger Federer. I'm
Right.
sorry. I don't
Yeah,
get
it
that.
is. It is.
I don't get that one.
Okay, let's go to the last of the list, and then we can make our choices. The Undertaker, wrestler, the American professional wrestler,
I don't know who he is. But
currently signed. Don't tell anybody,
Got
man.
the hat.
They're gonna get on you. Signed
no,
to
like I said, I have a
WWE.
brain.
Yeah, okay.
And stuff to
The
do.
Undertaker became WWE's longest ever tenured performer. His 26-year-long standing with the company has earned him the nickname the soul of the WWE. That's why I said don't tell anybody, man. Don't tell.
Listen,
Don't tell anybody.
I will to bet if you know a lot of the WWE people that your productivity level
See?
is about a 2.
Email Mario. Email
You're on
Mario.
the list of slow people.
No, see.
And you may be a
See,
Trump
you see what happens? Okay, so here you go, Mario. You got your list. Just so you know, if you want to do this by going through the list, first before you do, Mario, just guess who you're surprised not to see.
Okay.
Think about it.
I'm going number 1 with Jesus.
Okay, all right. Number 1, Jesus. Anybody else?
Number 2, I'm going to go with number 2 being Barack Obama.
Got it.
And my number 3 being Hitler.
Okay, good. Now what we're going to do instead of going through this, we're going to go down to the bottom of the page, and you're going to get your analytics and tell you exactly the results. And
Here's
you
the
can,
results.
and the number 1 person doubles the number 2. So who's your number 1 spot?
The number 1 spot, according to the Wikipedia, and that's again by the edits, George W. Bush.
How many edits?
45,000 edits.
Right.
Wow. Which is double that of number 2 almost, Michael Jackson.
Right.
28. Then number 3 is Jesus. Number 4, Barack Obama. Number 5, Adolf Hitler. Number 6, Britney Spears. Number 7, The Undertaker. Number 8, Roger Federer. Number 9, Kane. Number 10, Beyonce. I'm just amazed at Kane
Right.
and The Undertaker. And then
Right.
again, I have a brain.
Look, wait a minute. You know what I'm amazed at?
Some of y'all have a big air bubble.
I would sit there and go like this. George Bush is going around like this. I'm going like this. I'm more popular than Jesus.
Well, I guess if that's what you equate to popularity, I would say you had the most Wikipedia edits.
See, I'm just trying to.
That's how I would say it.
I'm
I
just
would go
saying.
like,
I'm just saying.
You had the most Wikipedia edits. If you think
What does that tell you?
If that equals popularity,
You in
it
a
could
pa-
just mean
you in a
that
bad
people
place.
get your shit wrong.
You in a bad place,
That's
right?
what it means. If people get your shit wrong,
Right.
so often that it's the most edits. That's what it means to me.
All right, I'm done, man. With our picks, I knew he was gonna do this. This is a perfect. I thought about Mario as soon as he was gonna chime in. I picked that he was gonna pick Jesus too. I said he's gonna pick Jesus. Jesus came in 3rd.
Less controversial.
Yeah.
I think people more agree. They agree more on Jesus than they do on George
George
W. Bush.
Hey, wait a
Okay,
minute.
I agree. I
And
think
wait a minute.
so.
Let me tell you who really I'm shocked about. I'm gonna be honest with you. Number 2, Michael Jackson. I really didn't think he was gonna rate like that. I didn't.
Well, again,
Over everyone else, no.
I think you need a popular figure involved in controversy.
Right.
Notice that Beyonce's at the bottom. She's there because she's a popular figure, but
Right.
she's not involved in controversy.
Right.
How about Britney Spears? You know she's not more popular than Beyonce, but once again, she's involved in controversy.
Right.
Beyonce has some, but again, I guess not like the other folks.
Like I said, you guys, it's a wonderful list. I should bring a part 2 to you because you got to see the other players. But until then, I'm out. HOT picks done.
Yeah. Well, Hot PiXX. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. We went a little long, first day back, but it's wonderful to be back.
Yeah.
Be part of that. Remember, still working with the technology, had a variety of little minor issues again with our streaming setup. Want to thank you all for being part of the party and hanging in there with us.
Thank you, folks.
Live 360, some interruptions, but it's up there. High Def continues. Thank you for being part of PiXX Stereo's pioneering efforts as we attempt to bring you the latest technology from right here in the hood. And as we say, we may not be in the ghetto, but we can't see the fence. They're climbing a fence. They're climbing a fence again, damn it.
Yeah.
Let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Ah, shit. PiXX Stereo, see y'all. Where my guitar? Come on, y'all.
First off, I'm not your regular dude. I bust moves like a young MC. Yeah, sorta, that would be me. Got me thinking about putting down the mic one day. Then I get some more love. Thanks for the love I gotta play. Hey, what can I say? I'm a Leo to the finish, man. I love God, so my faith won't diminish, man. Once I step up to the mic, I speak truth. Hip-hop wasn't designed to expose the black youth, but somewhere along the lines, we dropped the ball, yeah. I mean that man in the mirror, yeah, that ball dude. But now I'm back to right the wrongs of my past world. So let me walk this off my list like my name's Earl. Articulate my thoughts clearly like Professor Les. Do you remember Rap City with Deja and Les? I'm looking at the front door, bless the main source. You're full, yeah, wait till I hit you with the main course. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. Listen to Tribe or shit alone. You like my raps, but really I write songs. I like to do it like this once in a while to show some versatility and make you all smile. It's been a long time coming, I know, I feel it too. The more I take a break, it's like the more I break through. With my timeless space boy funk, I'm on point. You bless this microphone every time I anoint the pen, the pad. I face the bad head on. Escape inside the music, see my diary's a song and song. Till I write my next verse, then I go again into the studio. I feel I gotta flow again. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. They say they get me, I don't think they ever got me. My name's Kowalski, but they call me Kawasaki. Online I'm funds, but in real life I'm more like Chachi or Cola. I told you, I'm funky like granola. Bars, can't you see that I'm a star? Who pumps his own gas in the cold really fast? I pass on your gold digging stash. I'd rather make my own money, not advance me own money, no. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. So there you have it. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA.
Alexa, begin playlist, broadcast transition.